Hello, hello, you beautiful soul. Welcome back to the Purpose Show podcast. Let's get straight into it. Building habits that stick, creating routines that support your biggest goals. We've been on a goal kick lately, and I'm here for it. We've been talking about how to get really intentional and specific with your goals, how to rewire your brain to understand that this is important to you so that your reticular activating system can kick on and filter out information that's not helpful in you reaching that goal and filter in information that is helpful to that goal. Okay. And then, how to get out of your own fucking way and stop self-sabotaging, which we do all the time, right? Okay. So here's the thing that I want to get into first. Success isn't built on these like giant life altering moments. Usually it is built on the small stuff that you do every day. Habits are kind of like the secret sauce. And if you're wondering why your goals feel out of reach, it's probably because your habits aren't supporting them. So there's a disconnect between what you are and what you want to be. And we're going to change that today. By the end of this episode, you're going to have the blueprint for creating daily routines that align with your biggest goals and help you actually stick to them. Okay? So, if you want to make big things happen, you've got to start small. You've got to get micro and look at what it is you're doing day to day. Habits are the foundation of success because they're the actions that are going to compound over time, right? They're like the bricks that build the dream house. Okay. So yeah, you're looking at like one little brick, but that one little brick is a part of the foundation for your dream house. Okay. We first want to look at habits versus motivation. Okay. Motivation is cool, but it's unreliable. Habits, especially when you couple it with rewiring your subconscious mind and you're not doing your habits out of force or motivation or willpower, but you're actually doing it because you've rewired your brain and shifted who you are at an identity level. So these habits are just who you are now. They show up whether you feel like it or not. Okay. The compound effect. Small, consistent actions add up to massive results over time. Consistency over intensity, okay? So I want you to identify one goal that you're working toward. It could be the same goal that you've been kind of keeping in mind over our past 2 episodes on this topic. By the way, if you haven't listened to those, these are all kind of piggybacking on each other right now. I would definitely go listen to the last 2 episodes. But I want you to identify one goal you're working toward and think about a daily habit that's going to make you reaching that goal inevitable. What is one thing you could do every day that would make that goal happening absolutely inevitable? Okay. I'll give you an example from my life right now. I've shared before that I have been kind of struggling with the old fear of being seen, and it's just showed up at a new level, same devil. Okay. It's not new level, new devil. It's for me, it's been new level, same devil. So meaning the same fear, the same issues come up at the next level that I get to. And so I've, always had this fear of being seen or guilt around wanting to be seen from childhood, from different experiences. And then I had an experience a couple years ago that was a part of like my big mental breakdown. Right. And it just really triggered and rebirthed this huge sphere of being seen. And so it's obviously affected my brand, my business. Like I was hiding, and then I had a lack of clarity around my voice and my message. And I was trying to like figure out, how is this shifting? Why doesn't this feel good? What do I want to say? How do I want to show up? What is it that I need to shift here? And so it just all compounded into this massive fear of being seen and stopping showing up. So my growth really just kind of petered out. I kind of stayed the same, but I wasn't actively growing. My social medias weren't growing. My email list stopped growing. Everything just stopped growing. So when I got clear and I'm like, okay, I want to get back to being seen. I want to overcome the fear of being seen. And I got more specific, because you remember when you want to get specific. And so I realized, I was like, okay, maybe I won't completely overcome the fear of being seen, because, there's a lot of reason to fear being seen and being perceived by large amounts of people. It's actually really anti-human. Like our brains are not wired to be able to handle that. So I'm not going to set this huge goal of getting over it and not having it anymore, but rather I want to grow my following to a certain amount despite the fear. So I set a specific goal for social media and another one for my email list. And then I asked, what is one habit that I could do every day that's going to make this goal inevitable? And right away it kind of came up. Sometimes you might need to think about it a little bit. Sometimes you don't have to. For me, right away it came up, creating one piece of content every day. Content creation is something that I would self-sabotage and avoid because that leads to being seen. So I'd be like, oh, I need to work on the website. Oh, I need to like go to the gym more. I need to like, oh, wait, I'm going to do this. Oh, I totally forgot to clean out my closet. Bitch, no. You know you're avoiding the thing that's going to get you where you want to go. So that was the one habit that I did. And I've been doing that now for a while. And it's working. It's really working. So we all know what it is like to start a new habit and then fall off after a week though, right? So you can nail down the goal and you can nail down the habit that's going to make it inevitable. But how do you stick with it? We fall off after a few days or a few weeks or whatever because we make it too hard. The trick to sticking with your habits is, number one, to rewire your brain and make it a self-identity issue, that this is just who you are now. And number two, to stick with the habits, making them easier and automatic. So decide that you're consistent now. Okay, let me get a little deeper and explain. Start small. Forget the massive overhaul. Start with the smallest possible version of the habit. So if you want to work out daily, just start with 5 minutes a day. Okay, so for me, creating content every day, what's the easiest version of content I could create? I'm going to start with that. And that's what I did. And then I moved into live streaming and videos and all the things. Number two, tie it to something you already do. This is called habit stacking, okay? So for example, after I brush my teeth, I'll meditate for 5 minutes. Or if you're unburdened, before I ever knew about the thing called habit stacking, I called it rhythms and anchors, okay? Attaching a rhythm to an anchor. So after I brush my teeth, I'll meditate for 5 minutes. So for me, it was after I have my matcha, I'm going to do my makeup. And after I do my makeup, I'm going to record a piece of content. Okay? Step 3, track it. Create a visual cue for your progress. I love having a paper calendar so I can put an X on every day that I do it. It makes me not want to miss a fucking day. It's the simplest thing. You can go to the dollar store and get a paper calendar, put it on your wall somewhere, and just mark off an X every day you do it. You're not going to want to skip. Seeing your progress builds momentum. Okay. And that's what I did with overcoming the fear of being seen. Then I added in, after I got that habit, I added in doing 5 minutes of EFT on the fear of being seen every single day. So I'm already doing this because I do my daily reprogramming ritual every day, right? You go to the 25-minute ritual I'm always telling you guys to do. I do that every day already, but I just got more intentional and I started tweaking the daily reprogramming ritual for me to be focused on the fear of being seen. So instead of just visualizing my next level self in general and just, doing some EFT on like whatever's coming up for me today, I got really laser focused and I made all my scripting, my positive self-talk, my visualization, my EFT on the fear of being seen and really moving through that. Because I was already doing that habit anyway. I already had the habit of the daily reprogramming ritual. So I just fine-tuned it to serve me in overcoming this and really working on this goal. And that was huge. So you can always add more. Okay. Now, your habits should directly align with your goals. If they don't, it is time to reassess. You might be doing habits just out of being reactive, or you might be having habits because you just always had them, or you might be having habits because you think it's the things you should be doing, but it's actually like something you don't really care to do, and it's not really aligning with how you want to be, how you want to feel, and the life you want to live. You want every action, no matter how small, to get you closer to your vision. So, for example, let's say your goal is to write your first book. Your daily habit might be writing for 10 minutes every morning after you brush your teeth, or after you take a shower, or after you make your morning coffee. Okay? So, I want you to write down your top 3 goals if you want, but really focus in on one that's like the one right now. But I know a lot of you are going to be like, well, I have multiple goals. Can I focus on more than one? Get them out. Write down your top 3 goals and identify the daily habits that are going to move you closer to those goals. Okay, so you're breaking it down and seeing what's going to be done every day that's going to make the success of those goals inevitable. And then you're going to laser focus in on one, like for me, the fear of being seen. Okay. or writing your book or whatever. And remember, this is not about perfection, okay? It's about showing up consistently even when it's not pretty, okay? Because we get shit done now. That's who we are. Now, I can't do an episode about this without getting nerdy for a second. There is real science behind why habits do or do not stick. The more you repeat an action, the stronger the neural pathways in your brain around that behavior become. So over time, what once felt really hard is now automatic. It becomes automatic. So the 3-step process of habit formation is cue, routine, reward. Cue, a trigger that reminds you to start the habit, like waking up, finishing lunch, showering. The routine is the action you want to make a habit. So meditation, writing for 10 minutes, creating content, going to the gym. And then reward. This is the immediate benefit that reinforces that habit. Feeling calm, checking something off your list, getting an endorphin rush from the workout, okay? Bonus points if you pair your new habit with something that you already love, because it's going to be easier for you to do it. Like listen to your favorite podcast while you exercise, because the exercise is the new habit, but you already love this podcast. So when you listen to it while you're exercising and no other time, you're making it more enjoyable, and you're making it like it's more likely that you're going to stick with this, okay? Now, let's be super real with each other, because we always are. Life can get super messy, and perfect consistency is just simply not always possible. But here's I'm so all or nothing so much of the time. And here's the biggest thing. Don't let one missed day turn into a spiral. Have a plan, okay? Have a plan. If you can't hit the gym, do a quick 10-minute bodyweight workout at home. Something is better than nothing. Or my rule, I never miss twice. I never miss creating content 2 days in a row. Okay? Number 2, do not aim for perfection. We aim for progress. Consistency does not have anything to do with perfection. It just has to do with showing up more often than not. Let yourself feel the relief of that, okay? Forgive yourself quickly and move on is step 3 of this, okay? So you missed a day, no big deal. Get right back on track the next day. We don't beat ourselves up. We don't shame ourselves. We don't punish ourselves, okay? If you miss a day or 2 or 3 or whatever of a habit, get back on track. Pretend you didn't. Just get right back to it. If your habits, this is one of the last points, but one of the biggest ones. If your habits feel like a punishment to you, you're not going to stick to them. The key is to make them feel good, even if it's hard at first. So celebrate small wins. Try to find joy in the process. Enjoy those post-workout endorphins. Enjoy the feeling of crossing something off your to-do list. Treat yourself to something small when you hit a milestone. Your brain loves rewards, so use that to your advantage. Just make sure the reward aligns with your goal, okay? So, for example, if you've built in that daily writing habit to get your book done, reward yourself with a new journal or a new pen, not a Netflix binge that pulls you away from your goals, okay? Success is not about one big moment. Again, it is about small daily habits that you commit to. You're building your future one brick at a time, building that dream house one brick at a time. And every action you take today is casting a vote for the person you want to become or the old expired edition of you. So, I'm going to challenge you to pick one small habit to start today that's going to lead you to your goal and commit to it for the next 7 days. Track it, stack it, keep it simple. You're going to be amazed at the momentum you build in just a few days. Okay? All right. Next episode, we're going to talk about how to create a vision for your life that actually excites you, not something that you feel like you should have to do or any of that. So we're also going to talk about how to use that vision to fuel your habits. So this is going to go along with this episode. So make sure you don't miss that. And remember, if you've missed the Becoming Her Collective, if you want to dive deeper into this kind of daily transformation, but at a much deeper level, Becoming Her Collective is where it's at. And I am opening the doors very soon, in a matter of weeks. So stay tuned. I'm going to have a wait list for you soon so you can be the first to know and get an extra gift for being on the wait list when you join. I love you. I am so deeply grateful to be able to support you. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you next episode.